DA, everyone. Welcome back to Deep Rhythm, the channel where we dive deep into the real stories behind fame, power, and success. Today, we're exploring the fascinating life of one of Hollywood's most intense, mysterious, and talented actors, Tom Hardy. Fame before all the fame. Before the movie sets and red carpets, there was just a boy named Tom. Tom Hardy was born on September 15th, 1977, in Hammersmith, London, and grew up in the suburb of East Sheen. His father, Edward Chips Hardy, was a writer and playwright, and his mother, Anne Barrett, was an artist. You'd think with parents that creative, Tom's path would have been smooth. But the truth? It was anything but. Succeed. Growing up, Tom often felt like the outsider, too wild for school, too curious for rules. He once described himself as a little too loud, a little too restless, and always looking for trouble. He attended several schools, including Reed School and Tower House, but he didn't really fit in anywhere. He was the kind of kid teachers remembered, not because he was perfect, but because he was unpredictable. Seedy. He started experimenting with acting early on. His father's influence as a writer gave him a love for storytelling, but his personal demons were already starting to show. By his teenage years, Tom was struggling with addiction, insecurity, and anger, things he would later turn into emotional fuel for his performances. But here's the twist. Even in those rough days, Tom had a dream. He didn't want to be ordinary. He once said, "I always wanted to be somebody before I knew exactly who." At age 19, he entered and won a modeling contest, which gave him a small taste of fame. But that world wasn't for him. He wasn't interested in smiling for the camera. He wanted to be the camera. He wanted to create stories, not just pose for them. So, Tom took a different path. He joined the Drama Centre London, a place known for turning out intense, method-driven actors. Alumni included stars like Michael Fassbender and Colin Firth. And this was where things began to shift. Demons didn't leave him alone. He was still battling substance abuse, a problem that would haunt him for years. Tom later said that those years were a constant war between his ambition and his addiction. Still, even during that chaos, he learned something vital: how to channel pain into art. That's a skill only a few actors ever master. Tom Hardy's first real break came in 2001, when he landed a role in the iconic HBO series Band of Brothers. It wasn't a huge part, but it was powerful. He played Private Yannick Young, fearless and determined. And just like that, the world saw a glimpse of the raw magnetism that would later define his career. Factor right after that. He appeared in Ridley Scott's Black Hawk Down. Imagine this. One minute, he's a struggling drama student. The next, he's on a Hollywood set surrounded by A-list stars. But here's where Tom's story starts to stand out. Most actors would ride that early fame into comfort. Tom didn't. Effort. He wanted to challenge himself, not repeat safe roles. So, instead of chasing easy paychecks, he started saying no. He took on dark, complex characters, roles that scared other actors. And that decision changed everything. Between 2002 and 2007, Tom appeared in smaller films and theater productions, refining his craft. He wasn't yet famous, but those who worked with him saw the fire in his eyes. He would show up early, stay late, but success didn't come easy. His personal life was falling apart. His addictions worsened, and he reached a point where he nearly lost everything. In 2003, after a major breakdown, he entered rehab, and that became one of the turning points of his life. He later said, "I couldn't bear the idea of being this broken person forever. I had to rebuild myself." That decision to take control didn't just save his life. It shaped his entire acting philosophy. From that point forward, every character he played carried a piece of that personal redemption. One of the first roles after his recovery was the film Bronson 2008. Where Tom played real-life prisoner Charles Bronson, known as Britain's most violent inmate. Now, this wasn't just a performance, it was an explosion. Tom didn't just act. He became Bronson. He studied him, met him in person, mimicked his mannerisms, even gained over 40 pounds of muscle to play him. Up the result. Critics called it unforgettable. Audiences were both amazed and disturbed. Exactly the reaction Tom wanted. That performance put him on the map. It showed that he wasn't just another British actor trying to make it in Hollywood. He was something different, something dangerous, something real. From there, the momentum built fast. Directors began noticing that this guy could do anything: action, drama, psychological thrillers, you name it. But more importantly, Tom had learned to control the chaos inside him. He used pain as fuel, turning every role into a piece of his own recovery story. By 2010, Tom Hardy was ready for something big, something that would introduce him to the world on a whole new level. That something was Christopher Nolan's Inception. First playing Eames, the witty and charming forger, Tom finally found the balance between darkness and charm. He wasn't just intense anymore, he was magnetic. The world couldn't take their eyes off him. His chemistry with Leonardo DiCaprio, his confidence, his humor, everything about that performance screamed, "Hollywood is mine now." That was the moment Tom Hardy became a global name. The great leap forward, from Inception to The Dark Knight Rises. When Inception hit theaters in 2010, Tom Hardy's life changed forever. Overnight, he went from being a respected British actor to an international star. That charming grin, that quiet confidence, audiences wanted more. And Christopher Nolan saw it too. So, when Nolan started casting for The Dark Knight Rises, there was only one man he had in mind to play Batman's most physically intimidating villain, Bane. Here's the wild part. When Tom first got the role, people doubted him. He's too short. He's not big enough. He can't top Heath Ledger's Joker. But Tom, he loves doubt. He feeds off it. He trained like a beast, eating 6 to 7 meals a day, lifting heavy, and gaining over 30 kilos of pure muscle. His transformation was insane. He once joked, "I looked like a small tank with legs." But it wasn't just about size. Tom created Bane's unique voice, a strange blend of power, intellect, and menace. At first, people were confused by it, but soon, it became iconic, instantly recognizable. And when the movie came out in 2012, everything exploded. The Dark Knight Rises made over $1 billion worldwide, and Hardy became one of Hollywood's most in-demand stars. Second, he had finally arrived. But with fame came pressure, and Tom was never someone who enjoyed the spotlight. While other stars chased the red carpet, he stayed grounded, often avoiding Hollywood events. He preferred spending time with his family, his dogs, and his close circle of friends. Then came Mad Max, Fury Road 2015. And if Bane made him famous, Mad Max made him a legend. Playing Max Rockadansky was brutal. The film was shot in the scorching deserts of Namibia, with sandstorms, heat, and chaos. Tom admitted he clashed with director George Miller and even co-star Charlize Theron. But when the movie finally came out, it was pure cinematic magic. Third, critics called it one of the best action films ever made. Tom barely spoke throughout the movie, yet he said more with his eyes and silence than most actors do, with pages of dialogue. That's the Hardy magic. Less talk, more presence. After Mad Max, his career skyrocketed. He appeared in Legend, playing not one but 2 roles. The Cray twins, real-life London gangsters. His dual performance was mesmerizing. He switched between both characters with perfect control. You could almost forget it was the same actor. Then came Venom in 2018, his most commercial success. Critics were divided, but fans loved it. The movie made over $850 million worldwide, and Hardy's performance was praised for its weird, funny, unpredictable energy. But what made Tom special wasn't just his film choices. It was how he approached every role. He never took shortcuts. He'd transform his body, his voice, his posture, even his breathing pattern. As he once said, "Acting, for me, is about transformation. I don't want to play myself, I want to disappear." By now, Tom Hardy had become more than a star. He was a symbol of intensity, discipline, and emotional truth. Now, here's where the story gets even more interesting. The real Tom Hardy. Not the movie characters, not the fame, but the man behind it all. Despite his tough guy image, Tom is surprisingly private, humble, and deeply introspective. He rarely opens up to the media, but when he does, his honesty is striking. He once said, "I'm a deeply flawed human being. I just try to make peace with that every day." Let's start with one of his biggest passions, dogs. Tom's obsession with dogs is legendary. He's been spotted rescuing strays, fostering animals, and even bringing his own dog, Woody, to movie sets. He once said Woody was his best friend and son. when Woody passed away. Tom wrote a beautiful tribute online that melted hearts worldwide. Another huge part of Tom's life is martial arts. He's trained in jiu-jitsu and boxing for years, not just for roles, but because it keeps his mind balanced. He even competed in local BJJ tournaments under a pseudonym just for the thrill of it, and won. People in the crowd had no idea the guy choking out opponents was Tom Hardy from Hollywood. Suppered beyond acting. Tom's a writer and producer. He co-created the gritty TV series Taboo with his father, a dark, atmospheric story that shows his love for complex, morally gray characters. The series was also deeply personal, inspired by his own inner struggles with identity and redemption. Tom's private life is guarded. He's been married to actress Charlotte Riley since 2014, and they have 2 children. He credits her with keeping him grounded. Unlike many stars, Tom doesn't chase luxury or attention. Seed lives quietly in the English countryside, far from the Hollywood chaos. He spends his days training, writing, or working on his next role, always improving, always moving. He doesn't even have social media anymore. He once said, "It's too noisy out there. I'd rather live my life than perform it." Little-known facts about Tom Hardy. Here are a few secrets that even fans might not know. He once auditioned for Star Trek, Nemesis, and got the role at 24, a job that terrified him. Huge. He's a huge comic book fan and personally pushed to make Venom more layered and funny. Sunday, he loves cooking. Apparently, his Sunday roast is famous among his friends. He keeps a journal everywhere he goes, filled with quotes, sketches, and random thoughts. He's a big supporter of the Prince's Trust, a charity that helps at-risk youth because he knows what it's like to struggle. Surprising thing, he's deeply spiritual. Not in a religious way, but in how he views life, always searching for purpose, balance, and peace. As he once told GQ, "I've lived fast and dark, and I've seen both heaven and hell. Now I just want quiet." State by the mid-2010s. Tom Hardy was one of the most sought-after actors in Hollywood. He had done blockbusters, art films, TV shows, and even produced his own work. So naturally, people started asking, how rich is Tom Hardy, really? According to several reports, Hardy's net worth sits between $25 and $40 million, depending on film contracts and production projects. But what's interesting isn't just how much he's earned, it's how he handles it. Unlike many celebrities who flaunt their wealth, Tom is notoriously humble. He doesn't collect flashy cars or throw wild parties. Instead, he invests in real estate and film production, long-term, quiet growth. Feezy owns a beautiful home in Richmond, London, and a country retreat in Surrey, both elegant but understated. He once said, "I don't need 10 cars or 3 mansions. I just still." He enjoys certain luxuries, fine leather jackets, vintage motorcycles, and classic watches. He's often seen riding his motorbike through London streets, helmet on, completely unnoticed. Theory: when it comes to money, Tom's philosophy is simple. Earn it through passion, spend it with purpose. He's even been known to quietly donate to charities, especially organizations that help homeless people and recovering addicts. Because for him, that's personal. He knows how isolated life can spiral out of control. One of his biggest financial ventures is through production. His company, Hardy Son and Baker, co-founded with Dean Baker, has produced projects like Taboo, A Christmas Carol, and upcoming action thrillers. Through this, Tom isn't just acting, he's creating opportunities, shaping stories, and ensuring his future beyond the camera. He also earns from brand collaborations, though he chooses them carefully. In 2022, he renewed deals with Bentley and Warrior fitness gear, but only after ensuring the brand's values matched his. He once told a journalist, "If I put my name on something, it has to mean something." And that sums Tom Hardy up perfectly: purpose over profit. What makes his financial story so unique is that it mirrors his character growth. The same man who once lost himself to chaos now lives by discipline, balance, and self-control. He doesn't chase attention, yet the world still can't stop watching him. That's real power, quiet confidence, not loud success. Tom Hardy's legacy isn't just about the movies. It's about transformation, both personal and professional. He's proof that no matter how dark your past is, it doesn't define your future. Every scar, every mistake, every fight he's had, he turned them into art. And that's the essence of Tom Hardy. He's not interested in being perfect. He's interested in being real. In interviews, he often talks about his journey through addiction, failure, and self-redemption. He's open about how close he came to losing it all and how acting literally saved his life. He said once, "If I can make people feel less alone through my work, then that's worth more than any award." That attitude has inspired millions. Young actors see him as proof that you don't need to be glamorous to make it. You just need to be fearless, authentic, and resilient. His intensity on screen, his silence off-screen, his contradictions all make him one of the most intriguing figures in modern cinema. He's a mystery, and he likes it that way. Fans describe him as beautiful chaos, and maybe that's why he resonates with so many people, because deep down, we all have that chaos too. Here's the thing about Tom Hardy's story. It's not really about fame or fortune. It's about redemption, discipline, and self-belief. He took pain and turned it into purpose. He took failure and turned it into fuel. He took silence and turned it into presence. He once said, "You have to lose everything before you can find out who you really are." And looking at his journey from a troubled teen in London to one of the world's most respected actors, you realize how true that is. He's not chasing Hollywood. He's chasing mastery. And that's why Tom Hardy isn't just another actor, he's an idea. An idea that reminds us that power doesn't always shout. Sometimes it just breathes quietly and stands tall. So now, let's turn the question to you. After everything you've seen about Tom Hardy's rise, fall, and rebirth, if you had his discipline, his mindset, his resilience, what would you build with it? Would you chase fame or peace? Would you conquer the world or master yourself? Let us know in the comments below. We read every single one. And if this story inspired you, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because here on Deep Rhythm, we don't just tell stories, we explore the rhythm behind greatness. Thanks for watching, and remember, it's not the fame that makes you powerful, it's the fight that gets you there.
To be continued.